Well, good morning, everyone. Good to see everybody here today. I start with Matthew. I remember a professor quoting a newspaper ad that read, "For sale, hot tub, plumbing included, will trade for a pickup truck. Call, etc." Okay? It doesn't take a PhD to determine that here was a life in major transition. Often, those major transitions in life, well, they are usually, crisis caused by something. The disciples in our text today are in the midst of a major crisis. Perhaps that crisis was caused for, making decisions about repenting and following Jesus. Perhaps this transition is caused by the fact that John the Baptist had been put in prison. Many of Jesus' disciples had followed John. It would have been, easy for these disciples of John to succumb to disillusionment, retreat into fear maybe, or just quit because, we tried. But in Jesus' voice, they heard a new call. It was the time to respond. Why did they respond? Perhaps something was lacking in their lives. Seemed in John the glimpse of hope. They realized a new opportunity for this dynamic preacher from Nazareth. In Jesus, they found a place. We all know that church is people. The Greek word is translated as church means called out one. Called out one. But the church also is a place. Having a place is important. This church is a place for Jesus Christ. No matter, someday this sanctuary will be full. When people finally know that they need a place. Because it's not out there. It's not out there. When they had sinned, Adam and Eve were tossed out of their place. Cain, was doomed to wander without a place. Abraham and Sarah were called to journey looking for a place. The children of Israel were delivered from Egypt upon the promise of a place flowing with milk and honey. Having a place is important. "Is this really ours, Mama?" the girl asked, her eyes gleaming. "Yes, it really is," her mother said as she takes the key from the representative of Habitat for Humanity. "Here it is, ma'am," he said. "Your very own first kitchen." With tears in her eyes and the arms of the man around her, the retired pastor's wife walked into her very first and last home. a place. We all need a place. In Jesus, the disciples found a place where they could find mercy, purpose, stability, forgiveness, security, and the sameness that gives unity to our lives. The scripture also reports that their response was immediate, almost as if they left their father in the boat. It is now time, Jesus said. The kingdom is near. Have you ever heard of the Procrastinator Club? They boast of having 100,000 members, but only 5,000 members join. The other intended to, but just keep putting it off. Jesus says, do not put it off. That's almost everything. Don't put things off. The Bible seems at least two words that translate as time. One word is chronos, and which comes out of chronology, which is a lineage of our daily day activities of our lives. What do you do day after day in your life? I hope there's time for prayer in that time of talking to God. The other is chronos, is crisis time. Moment is here when crisis hits. Opportunity waits. Seize it. The kingdom is near, Jesus said. Without delay, they followed him. You imagine the dad sitting in the boat when two of his sons take off with Jesus and the other two. He just must have known who Jesus was. Wow. Well, in the play Becket, the king selects his old hunting buddy to follow him, to become archbishop, expecting to control his buddy and the church. But the role of archbishop, Becket changed. Something happened to him. He told his angry king friend, when you put the burden upon me in an empty cathedral, it was the first time in my life I had ever been entrusted to do anything. I was literally a man without honor. Now I am a man with honor, the honor of God. He had found his place because he recognized the time. It is time to respond to Jesus' call to live life that honors God. And when you honor God, you have to put God first, not our own agenda. If you're only coming to church to poke up your own agenda, you're not following God. Here's the story. A water barrier from China had two large pots, each hung on the end of a pole, which he, went across the back of his neck. to carry. 2 large pots. At the end of the long walk from the stream to the house, the cracked pot always arrived, well, half full. For 2 years, this went on daily, with the bearer delivering only 1.5 pots of water to his home, of course. The perfect pot was proud of its achievement, for it was perfect and always arrived with a full pot of water right to the brim, that fresh water. But the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it was able to accomplish only half of what he was made for. After 2 years of what, well, perceived to be a bitter failure, the cracked pot spoke to the water barrier that day by the stream. "I am ashamed of myself," he said, the crackpot. "I want to apologize to you. I have been able to deliver only half of my load because the cracks on my side caused the water to leak out on my way back to your house. Because of my flaw, you have to do all of this work, and you don't get full value of your effort." The pot barrier said to the pot, "Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path, but not on the other pot side? That's because I have always known about your perfect flaw. So I planted seeds, flower seeds, on your side of the path. And every day while you walked back to the house, you watered them. For 2 years you have been able to make those beautiful flowers that you refresh every day to decorate my table. Without you being just the way you are, there would have been no beautiful flowers on my table to bring happiness to me and my family." So what is the moral of the story? Each of us has our own unique flaws. Each of us here. We are all crackpots. We're just crackpots, but it is the cracks and the flaws we each have that makes our lives together so very interesting and rewarding. You just got to take each person for what they are and look for the good in them and the flowers that they produce.